Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending the Leica Biosystems virtual job fair event. I would like to introduce you to Kenya. Kenya will tell you about her company, job openings, and how to apply for those openings. Kenya, are you available to present?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, everyone. So my name is Kenya, and I am from Leica Biosystems. I'm the HR business partner. If you're not familiar with Leica Biosystems, we're actually part of Danaher, which is a much larger organization, and we are in McHenry County, so we are in Richmond, Illinois. We are a manufacturing facility. We're actually the largest manufacturer for that organization in North America. So we currently have open several positions. So we have everything from production associates and warehouse and material handlers, all the way to engineers, R&D, and more scientific and professional level positions. So what we manufacture in Richmond is actually pretty cool. We are actually manufacture items that are used for the diagnosis of cancer. So if someone goes into a doctor's office for a biopsy, they remove obviously a portion of the tissue. That tissue needs to be processed in order for a pathologist to determine if there is cancer in those cells. And we make all of the products or consumables that are used in that diagnosis. So everything from the liquid in which your tissue is preserved in, it's called formalin, all the way to the microscope slides that are actually used. So everything in that process we manufacture at our Richmond location, and in our distribution office, which is in the same location, we distribute that to laboratories all around the world. So that's a pretty cool process that we manufacture here. So in production and distribution, you would be in, you would be working in that operations, and then in R&D and in the science, you're actually building those products and making design changes. So we have a couple of engineering positions that are open as well. And the way you apply is I will take you on to our, if I can share, I'm not sure, can I share, David, the screen?
Absolutely. Give me one moment, Kenya. I'll make you a co-host, okay?
Okay, great.
Okay, you should be good to go. I'll stop my share here so you can go ahead and do so.
Okay, wonderful. Just a second. And I see that Cindy Emling, who is our warehouse supervisor, has also joined us in the call. So she can answer any questions that anyone might have with regards to our warehousing positions and what is available for that. But let me just share my screen just a second. So I hope everyone can see that. So this is our Danaher website. So as I mentioned, Leica Biosystems is part of Danaher. If you go on there and simply type in the state that you're interested in, I just typed in Leica Biosystems, but we can actually make this even more direct and actually do Leica Biosystems. And I think there's even, there's a Richmond location. You can actually see some of our positions that are currently open. So we do have a transportation associate, we have a buyer planner, we have a director of R&D, we have a senior regulatory affairs specialist, senior project manager, quality control inspector, facilities associate, and an R&D histotech. And then one of our perennial positions, as we like to keep them open, are our warehouse associates and our production associates. So I don't have a link directly here, but if anybody is interested in those positions, we are always hiring for those positions as well. And you can always contact HR at Leica Biosystems, which I can share that information with you if anybody is interested in any of the positions.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Kenya. And I'm going to go ahead and place the screen that I had up here again. So just give me one moment. Excellent. We should be good to go. So Kenya, I do have some questions that I want to go ahead and ask you, if that is okay with you.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Okay, so the first question that I do have for you is, how long does your hiring process typically take from the point of submitting an application to actually getting extended that offer for hire?
That is a really good question. And the process is we call it a very robust process. So we do have an initial phone screening that our recruiters like to do. So an initial phone screening, once your resume is submitted, once that phone screening takes place, then depending on the position, if this is an operations or a distribution position, we'd like to bring you on site for a face-to-face interview with the hiring manager. And that usually we try to get 2 interviews at the same time. So anything from 30 minutes to an hour. After that, we do make a decision fairly quickly. I would say within 2 to 3 days, you would know if you're moving forward or not, or if a secondary interview is necessary. For other positions, such as engineering, or even some of the positions that are hybrid, you might have your first phone screening with your with your recruiter, followed up with another phone screen by the hiring manager. And then we would do a Teams interview with a couple of associates on site. So they would be on site, you would be via Teams. And then depending on the position, we might bring you in on site. Something like an engineer, we do recommend that they come on site, but quality or regulatory affairs associates would not have to come on site. Obviously, distribution and production, those are positions that are on site. They're not remote or hybrid. So we do like to do those interviews face to face. Once an offer has been extended, we do have a background check and a drug screen as part of our pre-screening onboarding process, and that can take anything from a week to a couple of weeks to complete. As soon as that is complete, we will set a start date with our organization.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Kenya. The next question I do have for you is, what are the opportunities for advancement within the organization? And perhaps maybe there's a success story that you would like to share with the folks that are tuning in or will be tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a very, very robust and clear career framework for all of our positions within the organization. So everything from our operators to our warehouse associates, we have a very distinct career path in which they can progress within their job family. We also encourage progression across what we call our job or career bands. So from our operations to our technical support, business support, manager level as well. We've had quite a few associates that have recently been promoted to supervisors and managers within our operating team that were either leads and started out as operators themselves and went through the entire progression up to supervisor, as well as other associates that have changed functions. So they started out in quality and have recently switched functions to operations. In addition to that, if you are a Leica Biosystems associate, you are a Danaher associate, and that means that we encourage development and growth within all of our Danaher operating companies. We're currently at 26 operating companies worldwide. So we have something internally called Danaher Connect, in which our internal recruiters will actually reach out to any candidates within our operating companies if they are interested in other positions. And we've had a couple of success stories just within the last year of associates that have been what we call tapped on the shoulder to join other operating companies in very high level positions, including VP of operations and lab managers and directors. So there's a lot of potential within our site as well as within Danaher as a whole.
Excellent information. Thank you for that, Kenya. The next question that I do have for you is, do folks need to possess any sort of minimum education requirements to apply for some of the roles that you covered here today? So, GED, high school diploma, anything like that. Do you have any minimum standards?
Yeah, very good question. So for our operations and production distribution associates, we do require a minimum of a high school degree or a high school diploma, I should say. For our professional level, depending on the position that you are applying for, a case in point, an engineer, we do require an engineering degree. For our scientists and things like that, we obviously require a science degree. But for our entry level positions, just a high school diploma is fine. We also provide tuition reimbursement. So if you are looking to progress further in the organization and even switch functions after you've been here for 6 months, we do provide tuition reimbursement to advance your career, whether that's getting, or to advance your education, whether that's getting a bachelor's or even a master's. We also cover that.
Excellent. Thank you for that. The next question that I do have for you is, how can folks stand out and get an interview, assuming for the assuming they are qualified, excuse me, for the position in which they are applying. Is there any maybe tips, tricks, pointers that you'd like to share with folks who might be tuning in to help them advance to that next stage in the process?
Yeah, what I recommend, highly recommend, is if anybody is interested to not only apply at the Danaher website, but to reach out to us HR here at the local level. What we can do is we can then let our recruiter know to go ahead and screen them versus having to wait for the recruiter to find your resume and screen you. We can kind of get a jump start on that. If you are interested, you can just email HR directly and we can get that going.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And the next question I do have for you is, how often are new jobs posted? Is it done on like a rolling basis or on an as needed basis? Can you kind of elaborate on that process a little bit, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are growing. We have brought in quite a few incremental positions, I would say, within the last 2 years or so. So our warehouse and our production team are always hiring. So there's always opportunities within those departments. And then the other positions we do, I mean, it depends honestly, but we generally have anything from 13 to 20 positions open at any time across all of the functions. But production and warehouse, those are perennial positions, and we always have those open.
Excellent. I just have a couple more questions for you today, Kenya. The next one that I do have for you is, I'm assuming because you work kind of in tandem with the medical industry, if you will. Are folks subjected to, let's say, background checks? And if so, would you consider Leica Biosystems to be a second chance employer, at least for maybe certain positions that your organization has to offer?
Very good question. We do require a background check. So that is a criminal, and we also require a drug screen. Now, as far as if any felonies or anything are currently in someone's record or something like that, we do require that at least it's been 7 years since that incident. And then you can still be considered higher, potential or eligible for employment with us. If it is more recent than 7 years, unfortunately, that would make you ineligible.
Understood. Thank you for that information, Kenya. And the last question that I do have for you today is a pretty good one. How can applicants go ahead and get their questions answered if they do have any for you or the HR team?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can definitely reach out to me, Kenya Bugarin at, Kenya.Bugarin, Bugarin at leicabiosystems.com. In addition to that, they can also reach out to Cheryl Godella, which I can provide that information. I don't know where I think that is, she's in our job information as well. So Cheryl Godella is the site leader or the site HR leader at our location, and she can also provide any information and even direct you to the hiring manager or directly answer the questions to the hiring manager if you have very specific job questions.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kenya. And Kenya, with that, what I want to go ahead and do is turn things back over to you to give kind of a concluding statement, summary remark, takeaway, a similar statement such as that for folks before we wrap up things here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Leica Biosystems is an amazing organization to work for. If you are looking to get into the medical device field, this is a really great opportunity. Obviously, we're in the northern suburbs of Chicago between McHenry and Lake County. So we are pretty centralized as far as location. So anybody living in either one of those two counties could really work at Leica Biosystems. We have an amazing career path, great benefits. Benefits do start on the first day. There's no waiting period. So once you are hired as a permanent associate, your benefits start. There is also a 401k match program. And in addition to that, all of our associates are eligible for a yearly bonus that pays out in the spring of the following year once you are hired. And you're eligible for that bonus on an annual basis. So benefits are very, very robust. The site is a very welcoming, a really wonderful site to work in. It's quite quite cross-functional. So if you want to get exposure, let's say you do work in the warehouse, you do get exposure to things like continuous improvement. Your opportunity to really shine is in our continuous improvement. We have a lot of different certifications that our associates can gather, even at an operator or a material handler level. That we offer all of those, and obviously tuition reimbursement. There's also a gym on site that associates are welcome to use. So there's really quite a lot of benefits. We do events on the site as well. So we have company picnics and just worldwide, site-wide events. Most recently, last week, we actually had an event for Black History Month, and next month will be International Women's Day, and we celebrate both of those. So it is a really great organization to work for. If you're really looking to step up your career, you want a stable, and you really want to make a difference. I think our mission is so important, improving lives, advancing cancer diagnostics and improving lives is really our mission. And you really do make an impact when you're doing that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kenya. Lots of excellent information covered here today and wonderful presentation. Again, just a few things I want to go ahead and cover here before we wrap things up. Again, I have recorded today's session, so if there's anything that you want to go back and review before submitting those applications, please feel free to watch this video. I will be posting it to the Illinois workNet YouTube channel under the virtual job fairs playlist within 48 hours of the conclusion of this event. Furthermore, I'll also be reaching out to Kenya with our registration report as well. So Kenya, I will be sending that to you again within 48 hours of the conclusion of this event. So you will have all the information to the folks who registered for this event. And if you do want to follow up with them, please feel free to do so. Again, thank you so much for joining us here today, Kenya. Wonderful presentation. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Daniel. You have a great day as well. Thank you